What is going on, guys? Bruin Steel here, and welcome back to another WWE broadcast. I'm your host, Bruin Steel, and today I'm recapping the Monday Night Raw that took place on September 30th, 2024, and it took place in Evansville, Indiana. And it is the road to Bad Blood, which is in 2 days actually. It's actually this Saturday. So be sure to check out on Peacock. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be great. But anyways, before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that Canadian Yorker and I have been so busy this week. It's actually a really late Saturday. Excuse me. It's a really late Thursday night. So I apologize for the late video. We actually tried to do the broadcast just a couple hours ago, or just maybe we'll just basically a couple minutes ago, and Canadian Yorker had some serious issues with his Wi-Fi. So we decided that I'm just gonna do Raw, and I'm gonna be doing my Bad Blood predictions after this video. So be sure to check that out. So I'm gonna do Monday Night Raw and Bad Blood on my own. Like I said, Canadian Yorker is having some serious Wi-Fi issues right now, so cannot make it. But be sure to check out my friends Canadian Yorker's YouTube channel. The link will be in the description of this video. But anyways, let's get started with this Monday Night Raw. So first off, I want to talk about the opening segment of Monday Night Raw. We got main event Jey Uso, who is making his entrance as your new WWE Intercontinental Champion, and he gets on the mic. He said that this is his first singles titles, once again, well deserved, defeating Bron Breakker last week, and he's going to fight every week for it against anyone who wants it. He thanks everyone for having his back throughout the years and tells them that he loves us. He talks about how special walking to the ring with his son was, and said it wasn't easy, and even his family made it hard for him. He said his whole life, everyone said he's just a twin, and they didn't know him, and they now know him basically right now. He talks about his mom, how his mother is the biggest fan, and tells him to go get it, and says he did. He gets interrupted by Bron Breakker. He said he said he's come out here because he respects the title, he respects the IC title, and now he has the same level of respect for Jey Uso. He says no spears, no blindside. He just want to shake his hand, and he does. And he goes to leave when Jey Uso calls him back and invites him to share in the dogs, and the crowd parking for a moment. So Bron Breakker is officially a babyface. So I think every single of us, were looking forward to this. Um, I definitely think that this is a storyline. I definitely think Bron Breakker is going to go after Gunther. There was a segment later in the show showing Bron Breakker eyeing Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship. Um, so I think that's basically that's the only explanation. Like, why else is Bron Breakker gonna turn face? He's gonna go after Gunther. But we have to see what happens. So yeah. Moving on to the first match of the Monday Night Raw, we got a one-on-one match between Rey Mysterio and Xavier Woods, one half of the New Day. This went back and forth. Off of the rope, drop down leapfrog. Woods with a drop kick cover for one. Back body drop. Mysterio lands on his feet. Xavier gets a boot up on the charge, but a Tidris sends him flying off the top rope. Rey with a satellite head scissors, wrecking ball dropkick, and senton over the floor. Later, Woods wants a German suplex. Moonsault connects back inside, diving senton, springboard crossbody, so close. And basically, at the end of the match, Rey Mysterio tried to go for a 619, but Xavier ducks, reverses it, scoop lift. And I don't know if he did it on accident or it was on purpose. Xavier Woods accidentally tears Rey Mysterio mask off and takes advantage in the most bizarre way. Xavier Woods actually wins, defeating Rey Mysterio by pinfall with a schoolboy pin. So we are actually looking at maybe a heel. We're definitely getting ready for a heel turn by Xavier Woods. And it was announced later on that Jey Uso will have his first title defense against Xavier Woods. I just feel like maybe Xavier Woods might just attack Jey Uso and gets confronted by Kofi, and then Xavier Woods attacks Kofi. But we have to see what happens. We have to see if that's the case. But Jey Uso will defend his title, the IC title, against Xavier Woods next week on Raw after Bad Blood. So we have to see what happens. Like next week's Monday Night Raw is stacked. Like holy moly! Like we got Gunther versus Sammy for the world title. We got, like I said, Xavier Woods versus Jay. But we have to see what happens. Alright, so moving on to the next match, we got Lyra Valkyria versus Zoey Stark in a 1-on-1 match. This feud has become just absolute amazing. It has taken a turn. And Lyra was just like, she was alone in this match because I don't think she had Natalya. I don't think she didn't have Selena Vega. She had no one, where Zoey Stark had Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler at ringside. Feeling out, the Lyra Valkyria shoves her off, shoulder block, cover for one, into a side headlock to ground her. Stark with a backbreaker return action to the floor. Back from commercial, Lyra lighting her up with a forearm, big crossbody right hands. Stark down like a light cover. Nope. Sonya Deville runs interference. Shayna keeps the referee distracted. Lyra gets about a 10 count before he turns around, and Sonya Deville blasts Lyra with a knee. Zoey takes advantage with a Z360. Zoey Stark defeats Lyra Valkyria by pinfall. Post-match, a returning Kaden Carter and Kaden Chance run down and make the save, sending Pure Fusion Collective packing. So, after being out for a while, after getting attacked by Pure Fusion Collective, Kaden Carter and Kaden Chance saves Lyra and tries to get some redemption of themselves after what Pure Fusion Collective did to them like a couple months ago, or it might have been a couple weeks ago. I don't remember. You see Chance's face all messed up with a brace. Yeah. But moving on, going to the next segment. We got a segment here, Hell in a Cell. This rivalry has turned a toll. Adam Pearce is on mic with security in the ring. He says one of his responsibilities is making sure Raw delivers on its promised main events and special attractions. And on Saturday, he gets one hell of a special attraction lined up. After Saturday, the war between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre will be over. But to get there, we need to make sure there's no fighting tonight. He said he grants both competitors a parting shot in their bitter war, and he introduced CM Punk and then Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre speaks first. He explains that he's wearing black out of respect, but not respect for Punk, but rather respect for his wife, who after the Saturday claims that we'll have to feed Punk, bathe Punk, and will probably leave him. And it's a tuxedo because for the rest of the world it'll be a celebration that Punk is gone and never coming back, all thanks to Drew McIntyre. He berates the crowd for still chanting for Punk despite all his work, and he can see the hatred burning into CM Punk, and he's glad. He said there was a time that he had no room for hate in his life, but Punk told him it's a powerful weapon if aimed right, and it's lucky for him that on Saturday at Bad Blood, that hate will die with Punk. Drew starts to turn away, and CM Punk says people have called him a lot of things through his career, including voice of the voiceless, but tonight he's voiceless because he has nothing to say to a piece of garbage like Drew. CM Punk said he's so mad he can't go home and has been living in a hotel for the last month because he doesn't want to subject his wife to a son of a bitch he's become. And he said that Drew has turned him into a boogeyman. His worst critics have described him as he's going to send McIntyre home to Scotland in a box. He wants Drew to remember and never forget that he prayed for all of this, and on Saturday when they're locked in a cell together, and he has taken everything from Drew as his fears subsides and there's nothing left but panic. He'll look up and Punk will wipe that blood from his eyes. McIntyre will pray, and not to God and not to the devil. No, he'll be praying to CM Punk, and you will see him in hell. So intense rivalry, and hopefully this is the last we see of CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. But I just feel like after, Bad Blood, these two are just going to find each other in the backstage area and then just start brawling again. I just don't believe it that this is the last of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Adam Pearce claims it was going to be, but look, we thought it was going to be the end of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre after CM Punk beat Drew in a strap match. But no, the next Monday Night Raw, Drew McIntyre completely goes maniac and destroys CM Punk. What if he does it again? That's just my issue, but CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell match this Saturday at Bad Blood. Be sure to check it out, guys. It's going to be great. But moving on, we got the Judgment Day making their entrance. We got Judgment Day, Carlito, Dominik Mysterio, and JD McDonagh, versus LWO, Cruz del Toro, Dragon Lee, and Joaquin Wilde. Um, so Del Toro and McDonagh to start. Big dive in, crossbody staggers JD, but he quickly puts Wilde in the corner and tags Carlito in. It went back and forth. Carlito in to throw Lee into the corner, but he eats ends the girl in a slingshot to the knee. Lee charges into an uppercut from JD, but shoves him off balance to trap him in a tree of wood, stacking Judgment Day up in the corner, coast to coast, pulling McDonagh into a cover. Nope. Stereo dive from Dragon and Cruz. That was unbelievable, by the way. Back inside, Jake Quan on top, but Liv Morgan runs interference. Finn Balor, who told Dominik earlier in the show on the phone that he had travel issues, arrived to shut Jake One down. Judgment Day defeats LWO by pinfall with the Devils Inside from JD McDonagh on Jake One Wilde. So just my thoughts. I just feel like it has to happen, right? Raquel Rodriguez is coming back, right? That has to be the case. Like, I don't understand. I mean, like, Raquel is gonna cost Rhea Ripley the title, but people are like, "Oh, Raquel is injured." We just have to see that. But we have to see what happens. In this Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley World Heavyweight Championship match, Women's World Heavyweight Championship match with Dominik Mysterio suspending high in a cage. But we have to see if Raquel actually joins this faction. People are saying that's the whole reason why Finn Balor didn't actually have travel issues. He was at an airport maybe. People were suggesting that he was at an airport. They were suggesting that Finn Balor was at an airport and trying to recruit Raquel or something. But we have to see what happens when Bad Blood comes. But unfortunately, I won't be watching it because I'll be working. But anyways, moving on. Judgment Day are huddling in the ring chatting. Finn Balor turns to the camera and gets on the mic calling Damian Priest out. Damian Priest said he was going to rip his heart off, but well, he doesn't have a heart, and he's going to prove to Priest that he needed the Judgment Day, but they never needed Damian Priest. Liv Morgan then said she's going to prove that she's a home-wrecking, man-stealing, heartbreaking, title-taking, greatest women's champion of all time. They get interrupted by Rhea Ripley. She says she knows all about Dominik Mysterio's dirty little secrets and calls for a shark cage. One of those secrets that Dom is extremely claustrophobic. So at Bad Blood, when he's locked in the cage crying and spoiling himself, he'll have the best seat in the house to see his little girlfriend realize she's not as good as Rhea Ripley. And he'll watch as she wins the title she never lost. But for tonight, she's done talking. Damian Priest shows up in the ring and bows Judgment Day over before taking it to Finn with punches in the corner. Rhea Ripley lays out Liv Morgan with a headbutt and throws Dom into the barricade. She chases Morgan off for the crowd and turns back to Mysterio, beating him down from the cage. She opens the door and laughs before throwing Dominik inside. She tries to slam the door on him, but Morgan returns and they brawl. In the ring, Finn drops Damian Priest with a coup de grace before hitting a second one and then the third. Judgment Day stands tall over Damian Priest, ending the segment. So Finn Balor versus Damian Priest in a one-on-one match at Bad Blood. Be sure to check it out. It's really difficult to decide who will win in this one, but I can't wait to see. Alright, so moving on to the next match. We got a one-on-one match. Chad Gable, one half of American Made, versus Kofi Kingston, one half of The New Day. So it went back and forth, feeling out, trading arm drags, and head scissors takes over. Kingston lands on his feet off of a German suplex, and Gable follows with a monkey flip. Kofi also landing on his feet, following a dropkick, slingshot squat cover 2. Chad busted open at the forehead, but in control as they go to break. Gable gets a near fall off a diving headbutt. Kingston with a dropkick. Chad catches them with a belly to suplex, trading near fall. Gable bridged up, crucified DDT. Nope, Kofi off of the top with a brain chop. Caught into an ankle lock, reversed into a pin for 2. Trouble in Paradise, countered into an ankle lock. Kingston slings him into the corner, so close. Gable bails to the floor, action breaks down. Creek and Xavier Woods get involved. Avinava wants to interfere. Xavier I accidentally trips Kofi up, Chad Gable with a waist lock. Chad Gable with a Chaos Theory. Chad Gable defeats Kofi Kingston by pinfall. Post-match, Woods is by himself and slides into the ring to apologize profusely to Kofi. So it's not looking good for the New Day, actually. So that's just that. But moving on, we got Gunther, the ring general, the world heavyweight champion, making his entrance. We see that Dragunov was injured in the house show, expecting a torn LCL. It's a torn ACL, and it takes 6 to 9 months to heal. So shout out to Dragunov on a great recovery. Gunther gets on the mic and begins saying life as World Heavyweight Champion has been fantastic. He loved every aspect of it, the money, the luxury, but there's one thing he really hates right now, and that's the insult of having to deal with Sami Zayn every week. Gunther said he couldn't ask for anyone more annoying to come here week to week. He gets interrupted by Sami Zayn. He tells Gunther that there's an easy way to put an end to all of this. He just has to give him a title match, but he won't do it, and Sami knows why. And he asked him to tell him to his face why he won't do it. Gunther said he tried to tell him, tried to beat him into it. Sami just isn't on his level. Sami Zayn asked if that's the case, how did he beat him at WrestleMania? He pinned him and he thinks he's so much better. That's why he drives him crazy. Gunther admits that he's afraid, but not at Sami, but his reputation. Losing to the better man would have been a problem, but losing to Sami Zayn has been the biggest embarrassment of his career. He was so busy embarrassing Sami in front of his own family that he did it to him. He was so confident WrestleMania win that he flew his family out. He just didn't make a dig of it. He said that when it's done, he had to go to the back and look at his father and I, and his father said a bunch of German and translates, and said that his father asked if he really threw him out from Vietnam to Philadelphia just to see him lose to a bum like Sami Zayn. Sami's family is used to see him fail and doesn't expect anyone. So it went back and forth, and Sami said he's the golden goose of the family of something. Sami said he's right. His family has seen him get knocked down the way, but picks himself up. And what did Gunther say? He crumbled. He didn't ask for a rematch. He tucked his tail and ran. Sami said that Gunther disappeared from TV for months, all because his dad felt like a loser. Gunther decks Sami. He had enough and puts boost to him. Sami Zayn gets a corner exploder, but the ring general powers up with a quick little crutch to suck the life of him with a huge powerbomb. Gunther grabs the mic and finally accepts Sami Zayn's challenge. That's the end of the segment, guys. Wow. So Sami gets his wish. Gunther versus Sami next week in a World Heavyweight Championship match. So that's crazy. So, yeah. Alright, so moving on to the next match. We got Arthurs of Pain, Akem and Rizar versus Austin Truth. R-Truth returning. Great to see you back, buddy. And The Miz. Truth and Rather start shoulder blocking and the big man is unbooed. But Ron gets the fall forward Blue Thunder driver. You can't see me 5 Funko shuffle. Rizar slips out to get him for a dominator. Quick tags keeps Truth off balance, low bridge, and the leg in the class is clear. R-Truth tags to Miz, fired up. Excuse me. The Miz turns heel on R-Truth. He turns and blasts R-Truth through the booth. The Miz walks off in the Arthur of Pain defeats R-Truth and The Miz by pinfall with a what a rush on R-Truth. So The Miz turning heel on R-Truth. That is, well, you kind of was hoping that it was coming, and it looked like it was all part of Karrion Kross's plan, because the last couple of weeks we actually seen Karrion Kross talk to Miz a couple times. But then on top of that, I think The Miz is really annoyed by R-Truth, and I just feel like people are saying that, oh, how could this happen? You know, R-Truth saved The Miz from like a tsunami from Bronson Reed. Like, how did this happen? But The Miz is going back to a heel. I just feel like many people like The Miz as a heel. That's just my own opinion. I just feel like The Miz is better as a heel than a face. But we have to see what happens, what Miz has to say. He was actually recently on NXT. He didn't really talk about it, but hopefully next Monday, The Miz is probably going to explain himself, maybe, hopefully. But yeah. Alright, so we are finally here at the main event. We got Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed in a last monster standing match. This was an unbelievable match. And it went back and forth. Strowman rushes the ring and we're off. Reed clobbers him with a freight train crossbody to the floor. Braun passes him into the steel steps and then clobbers him with the steps a few times before lifting him up. Chokes him for the announce table. They begin to count, but Bronson makes it up. Strowman beats the count, and Bronson hooks him from the apron. Braun with the headbutt off the rope. A forearm sends Reed flying off the apron and through the chairs and a table. They count, and Strowman answers. Fighting to the stage, Roman whoops him with a steel chair. Fighting under road cage, Bronson avalanche Dan's Valley driver through the table to the floor. They count and they both beat it. Fighting back in the ringside, and we go to break again. Referee counting, but the Reed interrupts to spear Braun through the timekeeper barricade. Bronson up top, 747 splash up again for another. Reed calls for the referee. When the referee doesn't come, Reed throws him towards the ring, but Adam Pearce is right on him. Strowman off the top into a mess of security and Bronson. Reed to his feet. The referee starts to count, but Braun gets to his feet to beat the count. Strowman climbs up back inside. Bronson Reed cuts him off with winging a chair at his face. Up top together, trading clubbing blows. Suplex collapses the entire ring. Holy shit. And you hear the chants. Holy shit. The referee climbs into the ring uneasy on his feet, and the minutes start to count. We see the visionary Seth Rollins is back, and he hits the blackout on the steel steps to keep Reed down. The stomp, the curd stomp. Braun Strowman is the last monster standing thanks to Seth Rollins. And I called it, guys. I actually literally called it. I knew Seth Rollins was going to cost Bronson Reed at some point, whatever, but the visionary is back. We're hoping to see a Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed feud. But Braun Strowman beats the referee standing 10 count, and that's the show, guys. Wow, we have to see what's going to happen. We might see Bronson Reed ask for a rematch. I want to see another Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed match, to be honest, but I feel like Seth Rollins has to start a feud with Bronson Reed. It has to. But anyways, that would do it for Monday Night Raw. In terms of grading, I think I give this was a great show. I give this an A minus. I just feel like it was awesome. Don't get me wrong, it was an excellent show. Maybe a little bit more, but I give this a plain A. I give this a plain A. But anyways, that would do it for Monday Night Raw. Thank you guys for watching. My name's Bruin Steele. Like I said, my friend Canadian Yorker and I have been so busy. I apologize for the late video. And me and Canadian Yorker, we actually tried to do the broadcast a couple hours ago or a couple minutes ago, whatever. And his Wi-Fi, he's been having some serious Wi-Fi issues over at his area. So he wasn't able to make it. So I'm doing Monday Night Raw by myself. It's a shame because I usually don't do Monday Night Raw by myself. I think this is only like my second time. But anyways, my name is Bruin Steele. Be sure to check out my friend Canadian Yorker's YouTube channel. The link will be in the description of this video, as well as our wrestling channel, which is WWE Wrestling Bros. Be sure to check that out. The link will be also in the description of this video as well. But in that case, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out Bad Blood, which is premiering this Saturday on Peacock. Don't remember what time. I don't actually know what time. I think it's like depending on if you're in the East Coast or Pacific Coast or whatever. But anyways, my name is Bruin Steele. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. And I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your night. See you later.